Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 65 of the Voice of Punk. I'm your host, DJF Punk. Now, I just finished watching Sons of Anarchy episode 6 of season 7, entitled "If Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em." And I really don't know what that title really has to do with this episode, but I really that title really doesn't have any meaning, I don't think, anyway, that are really connected to this episode, but who cares? This episode I thought was, for me personally, throughout the episode, it was kind of lackluster until the end. Before the ending, I thought this episode was it was just kind of slow, and it wasn't as exciting as, for me anyway. It wasn't as exciting as last week's episode was until the end. Because the ending, I thought, really made me looking forward to the next episode, but getting to it, I thought, was very slow. One thing I do like about this episode, though, is the character of Marcus is back, which I am all for, because I love the character of Marcus. He's the leader of the Mayans, and I loved his character since the first season. I thought he was great, and I'm very happy to really have him back in a big role again. So so I'm happy that Marcus is back, and I like how they show that this guy is still a really smart guy, that Marcus is, because Juice in this episode, he goes to Marcus and the Mayans, and he's willing to give up information on Sam Crow. He's willing to give up information on Sam Crow, so the Mayans can help him to get to Mexico. But Marcus, who wants in on the gun business, realizes that Sam Crow wants you dead. I can use you to get myself into the gun business. So he pretty much gives up Juice to Sam Crow. And that's first thing I want to talk about is that this episode really focuses on Juice, and this episode was really frustrating, actually. For a large part of it was very frustrating, because Juice had so many perfect times to really just flat out say Gemma killed Tara. And when he was locked in the closet with Nero, which was actually kind of funny that the Mayans locked Hero in the closet, I found anyway. But when he was locked in the closet, when he came face to face with Jax in the club, and he had so many perfect opportunities, but his whole speech to Nero saying, like, I'm a coward, I know I'm a coward, I deserve to die, and it just made me not only frustrated, but feel so bad for Juice. Like when he comes face to face with the club, and those scenes were really brutal. Like, nothing really happens; they just kind of stare each other down. But you can just feel through the TV. You can just feel Juice heart is just breaking when he sees the club. And Jack saying, remove his cut and everything, and I felt so bad. One thing I gotta say, though, is this episode ends with the club taking Juice either to kill him, or you kind of get the feeling. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. But you really get the feeling that they're taking Juice out to kill him, and that's where the episode ends. They see Juice taking Juice outside, and oh my god, I can't talk. Alright. Sorry, guys. You see Juice being taken outside, and the episode ends. And you really get the feeling that they're probably going to kill him, which I think they will, but if he does die, then he should die either telling the truth about Gemma, or, sacrifices himself for the club. I feel those are the only two ways that Juice should die. But I want to talk about the one moment which I found to be so interesting, was a little moment between Chibs and Juice. It's where the episode ends, and they're going to take Juice outside, and you see Chibs, he's the vice president, so he has to act all tough and stuff. And he comes up to Juice, and he puts his hand behind Juice's neck so he can grab him, and kind of grab him like this and force him outside. But as he grabs him, there's a 10-second look between Juice and Chibs, and that look, it just spells everything out for you. It's not a mean look, it's a sad look between the both of them, because you can tell that Juice still considers Chibs a brother, and Chibs still considers Juice like a son. And like Chibs just kind of gives him a look, it's kind of like he's saying, "Damn it, Juice." Me doing my Chibs impression, I sound like a pirate, but him going like, "Damn it, Juice, why did you do this, man?" It was just something like, it was pretty much he was just asking like, why are you making us do this? Why are you doing this? Like, and you can tell Chibs really wants to help Juice. Really wants to help Juice. But I thought that moment was so interesting, and I thought that was actually the most well played moment of the episode. Marcus, his whole thing coming in with, him wanting in the gun business, running into Juice and getting Juice to the club, which also goes with him and Nero, where, reason why he locks Nero in the closet is because Marcus comes in and he's like, "Okay, I know what happened. I heard what happened at Diosa. I know what happened with Lynn. What the hell's going on, Nero? I thought me and you were partners. I thought it was going to be, brown and yellow against white. And, what the hell's going on here? And so he takes Nero and he locks him in the closet, and he frees him at the end. But it was just something like, I can't remember if he wanted to know which side Nero is on or something, but I just found it so funny that they take Nero just to lock him in the closet. For some reason I thought that was funny. I don't know why. But one thing I do want to say about this episode, though, which I love, is that Gemma's lie is finally starting to unravel and crumble. The reason why I say this is because her two biggest supporters, Unser and Nero, are starting to question her. With Unser, he is full out questioning her. He doesn't trust her anymore. And at the end of the episode, they actually have a falling out where Gemma tells him, "I want your trailer. I want you and your trailer off my lot by tonight." And, Unser he doesn't believe Gemma anymore, and which is fine when he's starting to wake up. And Nero, who's not outright questioning her, but you can tell he doesn't buy her story anymore. You can see it in his face that he's thinking. He knows her story doesn't make sense anymore. And, like at the end where she breaks down crying when she finds out that the club now has Juice, her fearing that Juice is going to talk. And she breaks down crying in Nero's arms, and Nero just has this look on his face like nothing is making sense. Like, why the hell is she so mad and sad about Juice right now? Like, what the hell's going on? So I like it that her biggest supporters are basically are basically not following her anymore, which I love, and I hope this. I hope they really continue this in episode 7. Sorry, I'm kind of tired. Um, but also I want to say that Gemma had some really great scenes. Actually, I thought with with the actress from Glee. I don't know her name, and I'm not sorry because I'm not a fan of Glee. I don't watch Glee. Um, but all I know is like this actress who plays a waitress at a truck stop diner. She's like a main character from Glee or something, and she has scenes with Gemma hit this episode, which I thought was actually really well done scenes, very well acted. It just felt like a real connection, and they just in these scenes they felt like Gemma and her felt like real people. Um, and what I mean by connection is when you have a random conversation with a stranger, but there's like a sense of not really friendship, but a understanding between you two. And that's kind of what happened with Gemma and this waitress. And I thought their scenes were really well done and really real. So yeah, I gotta get props for those scenes between her and Gemma. I thought they were very well done. Which was actually like making Gemma feel more human in those scenes was, I think, really hard act to do. Um, but they did it for a few minutes, but it's Gemma. She's a fucking monster. But yeah. So uh, all in all, really, this episode was, like I said, it was pretty lackluster. That review is short, but it's kind of lackluster. Like nothing really much happened. Well, I can't really say that because the club now has juice, but other than that, it was nothing really. Like we got Tyler and killing another person for Tyler. I wasn't really that interested in. Um, Carolyn Manson has another scene this episode. I wasn't that impressed with it. Like he's always been really good in his role so far. Manson has as a Ron Tully, but this scene he has in this episode is at the beginning wasn't really that impressed where he was acting angry, but I don't know, it didn't really fit, I felt. But when it came back to him being calm, I thought he was great. If that makes any sense. When he was back to being in control at the end of the scene he was in, I thought he was great. It was just before, he was like, well, what the fuck, that part I felt was a little forced. I felt they could have done like a few reshots at the beginning, But yeah, that's really all I got to say about his scenes. Other than that, this episode was very lackluster. It was kind of slow. Like the ending was great. I loved the ending, but other than that, it was an okay episode, I guess. But it wasn't an episode that I was really expecting from what as the fallout from last episode. So but it was still good, and I'm still looking forward to what the rest of this last season brings us. And you know what? Tell me you guys' thoughts. Tell me what you thought about this episode. Tell me what you think's going to happen to Juice, Juice's scenes, and tell me your predictions. I would love to know. So thanks for watching. This is my review of this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next episode with some more SOA goodness. Bye, guys.